and happy Tuesday 10 at 10. I am your host, Richard Charpentier. 36 years of bakery experience, certified master baker and bakery scientist. And every Tuesday, we receive your questions from the bakers and answered by a baker. So thank you very much for watching and being part of Bakerpedia and the education, and that's what we strive for. So let's get started with the first question. So today we have a question regarding vitamin C or ascorbic acid. Somebody was asking, is it possible to put 300 ppm, basically parts per million, such a small amount that can be calculated? It might be some good information on Bakerpedia. Vitamin C to correct wheat flour. What is the highest percentage of vitamin C for wheat flour? Currently, I'm using 90 ppm parts per million of vitamin C with glucose oxidase of 18 ppm. So first of all, vitamin C is great, or ascorbic acid is great to add as a additive to correct weak flour. It was used to oxidize and mature also to a certain degree weak flour. But if you have a flour that is bad, it's not going to correct it. And in the US, the upper limit for vitamin C or ascorbic acid, which is the same again, it's 200 parts per million. So it's not, it's way beyond. And if you go to a certain level, it's not going to really, change and make your flour much better. So in order to understand why your flour is too weak, is what's going on with the flour. My rule as a baker with years in the industry, instead of adding things, I try to understand why it doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. So what's the protein of your flour? What's the age of your flour? Do you have any starch damage within your flour? So once you start ruling out what the issues and why, when you make a bread, what happens to your bread? Is your bread very weak? And remember, ascorbic acid will work within your, all throughout from the beginning of mixing, and GO will work when, after, while in the process of mixing. So you're playing with glucose oxidase, which is a very tough enzyme to work with ascorbic acid. So you could also be over oxidized, something to think about. And one thing, there's a fantastic article on Bakerpedia. It's about 5 minutes to read. It's on ascorbic acid, vitamin C in breads and baking. So please go take the time to go through it, read it, and understand it a little better. But I would not keep on adding more and more, because you will, not see the true benefit. There's at one point, there might be another problem with that. But excellent question. Thank you for sending it. Now, next question. It's regarding a GMS. And someone is asking, can GMS powder can be used in substitutes of baking powder in cake? So first of all, for those who do not know, GMS is not a baking powder. GMS is an emulsifier, and it's also stands for glycerol monoestrate, GMS, and it's used as an emulsifier in cakes. So to answer your questions, no, it cannot be used as a baking powder because it is not leavening acid. The leavening acid are added in combination with sodium bicarbonate of baking soda to create a reaction that will release CO2 and get volume. And in the case of GMS, it will not do that, so no need to add GMS to your baking powder, and make your own. So that's a quick question, but thank you for, that's what we're here for. We're here to answer, simple questions as well, so to guide you through your day-to-day operation. Now we have a question on vacuum cooling. And somebody's saying that they're using a vacuum cooling system for their bakery and to cool croissants. We bake it normally and you get a good color, and then we put it to the vacuum cooler, it starts becoming hard. What is the process to get the good quality? So first of all, understanding cooling and how cold, because you're not giving the temperature, and you said it get hard. So what temperature do you get it? Because remember, croissants are made with fat or butter, and if you take a butter and you put the butter back in the fridge, what happens? The butter becomes hard. So I think, without having the details, that your croissants, as you're cooling them so rapidly that you're getting the core temperature. When I refer to the core, I mean to the internal temperature. What temperature does it get to? But I wouldn't be surprised that it would get about 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. And at that point, you're basically starting to get very close to the butter becoming very hard. So you're making your croissant hard. And with vacuum cooling, you have to be careful sometimes when you're forcing the hot air and trying to cool rapidly. Always make sure where is the center. And your croissants, again, not knowing the details, how long of a cooling process is that for your croissant? But technically, they should not become hard unless you have another issue somewhere else that we're not aware of. But good luck with finding out the proper answer. So thank you for sending it as well. And our last question of the day, and somebody's asking, hi, can we use sorbic acid in pound cakes, fruit cakes? Yes, the answer is yes, you can use sorbic acid. Sorbic acid comes as an acid salt, just sorbic acid, or also you could use potassium sorbate. The levels, I can't recommend the levels, but the levels will vary based on what you're trying to do. Always, if you're trying to use a additive such as a sorbic for a mold preservation system, make sure where's your water activity, where's your pH, and how much sugar and other things you have. Look at the formula and determine the right amount. And because your fruits, are you adding some fruits, like I've seen people on fruit cakes, and once the cakes are coming out, then they cool them down and they brush some type of a simple syrup glaze and add some more fruits to decorate, and then you package it. Again, not knowing the details is very difficult for me to really say, hey, do this and do that, because as I've mentioned in many other episodes of Tuesday 10 at 10, R&D is a process, and we're developing something. You have to go through the process and say what works best for my system. There's what you hear with sorbic acid and the functionality is what Bakerpedia offers, all the education and how to use it best. But how to use it for you all depends on the type of bakery, sanitation, shelf life, packaging, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's where, it's a great resource for you to go back online through Bakerpedia, click on it, it's free information, and you can get more information to guide you for, making the best answers for what you're trying to do. So that is it for today. So thank you very much for being part of Tuesday 10 at 10, for listening. So you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, and happy baking. Take care.